We welcome you back to Kansas State Baseball on Voth Sports Internet Radio, presented by Spreaker Internet Radio, as the Wildcats have charged back to only be down by 1 run after getting 3 runs off of Jonathan Gray in the 6th inning. But those runs were charged by Matt Oberste's trip of John Davis at first base. Davis felt well enough to go out and made 2 of the 3 outs in the top of the 7th. So, R.J. Santagate at the plate for the Wildcats takes strike 1. A changeup in there from Jonathan Gray. So, an 0-1 count now. The pitch. And put in play, smack to right field. And it'll be played well, so only a single for R.J. Santagate. So a leadoff hit in the 7th. The 8th hit of the night for Kansas State as Ross Kivett, the one-hitter, steps up. Kivett is 2 for 3 on the night with 2 stolen bases. Very nice job by R.J. Santagate, the third baseman. So, nobody out. Runner on first for Kivett. 2 singles and 2 stolen bases. .358 average on the year now. He'll lay down a bunt, and he fouls it off his knee. So, will we see a bunt attempt again from Kivett? Oh, you might know it's coming, though, now. Here comes the 0-1 from Jonathan Gray. And Kivett does get this one down this time. They'll only be able to get him at first base, so he advances Santagate over to second. So 1 down, and Tanner Witt steps up to the plate for the Wildcats. Tanner Witt tonight, he is 0 for 2. He has been walked. He grounded into a fielder's choice earlier in the night. .323 average on the season for Tanner Witt. As the pitch comes in, and they're going to say low, ball 1. Pitch looked pretty good. So, 1-0, 1 out, and Santagate on second base for the Wildcats. So here comes the 1-out pitch from Gray. 1-0, and a ground ball up through the middle in center field, and Kansas State has tied the game at 4 here in the 7th inning. An RBI single from Tanner Witt, and the crowd on their feet cheering very loud. Can definitely tell Oberste's trip of John Davis changed the momentum of the game to Kansas State, and the Wildcats taking advantage of Jonathan Gray, as Jonathan Gray may be in trouble of losing the game now. So, good news for Levi Mavoris. He is now set up for a no decision. Better than the loss. 4 unanswered runs for the Wildcats in the last 1 1/3 innings. And Gray's going to have a chat on the mound with all of his compadres and manager. So it will be a new pitcher. That has been decided. Jonathan Gray's done after 6 1/3 innings pitched, 9 hits, 4 earned runs. He faced 29 batters, 3 strikeouts, a walk, as Fisher's going to come on to pitch for Gray. So we'll take you to an update on the rest of the league. TCU has tied up Texas down in Fort Worth. So that game is tied at 2 now. Obviously, this one tied at 4. O-State still leading 5-0, and Tech still up 4-0 over Baylor. So as we look at the standings, Kansas ended their season last weekend against Kansas State. The bottom feeders are teams that you would normally expect to be at the top. TCU is 11-11 so far in conference play. Texas Tech 8-14, and Texas in dead last at 6-16 as Jake Fisher comes in 1-2 on the season in almost 38 innings pitched and a 2.15 ERA, a 36-7 strikeout walk ratio. Baylor and Kansas will finish in the middle of the pack as West Virginia was taken out of title contention with a loss last night. So the top 3 are Kansas State, Oklahoma State, and Oklahoma. So obviously Oklahoma State to share the Big 12 title, they need Oklahoma to sweep Kansas State, and Oklahoma State would have to sweep their series, which they are obviously well in charge right now over West Virginia 5-0. So Tanner Witt is on first base, 1 down, and Jake Fisher comes in. The average against left-handed hitters is 200 on the year. So lefties have had a tough time getting a hit off of Jake Fisher, but Shane Conlon has a 348 average off of the lefties. So here we go. Conlon steps out real quick. He'll be back in. As pitch comes in, taken for strike 1. Just in there. So Conlon is 1 for 3. He singled and had a run scored. Here is the 0-1 pitch. And a line shot foul into some trees in foul territory. Well out of play. So, ahead of the hanging curve there from Fisher, and the pitch takes one way outside. Fisher brought the heat and couldn't control it. It is a 1-2 count now. So, to lead off the next inning for Oklahoma, they'll have to try to figure out how to rally some hits off of Nate Williams. As the 1-2 pitch getting ready to come in, Fisher comes set. And this one is high, a curveball that didn't break much for him. And it is a 2-2 count now to Jake Fisher. So he's definitely going to have to throw that fastball for a strike. The 2-2, he'll try to pick off Tanner Witt. That isn't going to happen. So here we go. 2-2 pitch to Shane Conlon. And ball 3, the curveball goes in the dirt. So the Wildcats set up in a perfect position right here. Full count, man on first, 1 down. Jared King is on deck. If he would happen to get on, Austin Fisher would be due up. So here we go. Most likely Tanner Witt will be running. And the pitch, high, ball 4. And it's first and second, 1 down. Jared King steps up to the plate. As King steps up. Oklahoma may be letting their Big 12 title chances slip away here. So Fisher came in, got 2 strikes right off the bat, and then had 4 straight balls. So Fisher's going to have to take a talk with Hermlin. So, crowd clapping it on their feet here at Toynton Family Stadium. As King steps up, 1 for 2, a single, and a run scored. And so, Galloway, the pitching coach, comes out for Oklahoma, and a new pitcher in for Jake Fisher. So he walks a batter and his day's done. They definitely didn't want Jared King batting right-handed and facing the left-handed. So they know he has a tougher time batting left-handed. So they'll bring in a righty now to face Conlon. As we now take a look at the newest pitcher, Kyle Hayes. The junior comes in to throw for the Sooners. As Oklahoma has now used more pitchers than Kansas State. Jared King has definitely produced this season for the Wildcats. 44 RBIs. As that doesn't really compare to anyone else on this Kansas State roster. So here we go. Kyle Hayes, an ERA of 4.50 on the year. He hasn't had any decisions. He's only pitched 20 innings out of the bullpen, 17 strikeouts, and 9 walks on the season. Good time to update you on the rest of the Big 12. Hendricks just doubled in the top of the 7th for Texas. As it is, all the scores have stayed the same. As Kyle Hayes will throw his first pitch here coming up. So we've seen 3 pitchers now this inning. So King, the switch hitter for the Wildcats, will bat on the left side. These fans definitely ready to see K-State take the lead and hang on to it to win the Big 12 title. So here we go. First pitch from Hayes. Comes in and fouled off to the left side. It was a little high. Definitely would have been ball 1. But King definitely wanted to play the role of hero. So King is up, and then Fisher is on deck. Here is the 0-1 to King. And another one fouled off out of play to the left side. So an 0-2 count to Jared King. King, possibly a candidate for Big 12 Player of the Year. Definitely, if he came up big here, that would strengthen the case. Hayes' 0-2 pitch comes in. Low in the dirt, ball one. Remember, still just only one out, but first and second occupied. The Tanner Witt at Price seems like it's been forever since he's been on the base paths. And honestly, it has. He's been one of the men to have seen all three pitchers in this. The 1-2. And that one, tough play, misplayed by the second baseman, and a run down, thrown out at the plate is Tanner Witt. It was misplayed by Lorenzana. So runners on second and third and two down, as rounding a little too far was Tanner Witt. As Lorenzana recovered a little quicker than what Tanner Witt thought he would and had to commit to going home. And it definitely looked like it could have been called either way. So now Austin Fisher will try to get a base hit to give Kansas State their first lead of the ball game, as they've scored one run here this inning. As now Galloway comes out again, and another pitching change. So Oklahoma definitely bringing out all they've got, as they'll make another pitching change. So we'll see the fourth pitcher of the inning. We will switch over to KSU versus Oklahoma, Part 7. We'll be back on Spreaker Internet Radio.